Shit. Ah. Okay. Oh my god. Yo, yo, yo. Sorry. How long has it been? 13 minutes. It's not that long. We're good. Ah. God damn. I need to get myself a hair dryer. Holy shit. Keep forgetting about that. Okay. What's up, Lucas and Onesen? Hello, hello. How you guys doing? Oh my god. Just shower from cock. What? Oh yeah, I just took a shower. Ah. Kind of rush it. Just make sure I'm clean. Starting to think that maybe I'm overdoing my exercise because whenever we do the fucking dance thingy, I'm the only one that's always fucking sweating like fucking hell. God damn. Sweating. Yeah. From dance, from exercise. 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 Exorcism. Holy shit. Alright. Let's hype it up a little bit. Oof. Uh, Give me a sec. Shit, I forgot my password. Uh, yeah, what was my password again? Funny. Um, I actually forgot my password. Hold up. 69 your mom. Very funny lol. 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 Uh, is it this? Is it this? No. Oh shit! I actually forgot my password. What the fuck? Oh my god, I actually forgot my password. uh losing me. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. This has been. Mm, mm, mm. All right. Holy fucking screenshots. God damn. There's so many. Happy 420. Oh shit, it is! Oh my god. Ah shit, it could be my title. Wait, I need a new title. 420 blaze it, bro. That's so corny. What's up, Zay? How you doing? Yeah, bro. Blaze it, my dude. I'm high. Nice. How high are you? What about you, my dude? How you doing? I'm chilling. I'm chilling. A little bit exhausted. Not really exhausted, like energy well spent because I exercised for a little bit earlier. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty nice. A decent workout to get through the day. My muscular man. Okay, maybe not mascular. Mascular. Like you gotta chill with the expectation there. Nothing like that. feel like my drawing of Aquila yesterday still tops. Go play. God damn, she's a beauty. Get that testosterone, don't walk. What a goth mom woman with big titties hugging me. I'll send you a photo of mine if you want. That's quite challenging, but I'll give it a try. Because I'm not really good at drawing like hugging posts or like, 2% interaction thingy, mind you, so. But I'll give it a try. Kiss my chick or something. Okay. I think I can do that. I'm down. Hold up, yeah. Hold up. Need to refill my drink. Give me a sec. Goth woman, big titty. Big titty goth girlfriend. Were you the one that requested big titty goth girlfriend hugging Pepe? Or Peppo? Like, long ass time ago? I swear to God. Yes. Alright. Now we know someone who had a thing with big titty goth girlfriend. Gotcha. Now it's my turn.ちょっと待ってね。She's a maniac, maniac on the floor. She's a maniac, maniac. God damn, looking good, my dude. Looking good, looking fine. Sheesh. You can go out and find your own big titty goth girlfriend if you want to, man. Okay, I'm gonna try, yeah? No, mind you, I'm gonna turn you into a fucking anime. So, yeah. She's a maniac, maniac, let's figure out first. This is expecting that. Well, yeah. You know how I draw, basically. Okay. Okay. Okay, hold up. We need some jammers. Oh, this is a jammer. Never mind. If another pick, let me know. That's enough. Should be. Your phone picture is actually very fucking clear. What phone are you using? B20? B20. What is that again? Redmi? Or is it H something? Huawei. Okay, okay, yeah. I think that phone's like a little bit popular at some point here as well. Because I remember hearing the P20. It's like the option for a lot of people. I ended up getting is that I was considering getting that as well, but I ended up getting a Xiaomi Redmi Note, which is around the same price. I forget why I decided on Xiaomi Redmi. But I want to get an iPhone. The quality and design is pretty good from the phone to the interface. True. Like an iPhone is like what you see is what you get type of shit. Like what you buy is what you get. No hassle and all that shit. Xiaomi is decent. It's basically, well, I don't know now, but like a couple of years ago, it's like the iPhone counterpart for Android in terms of like competition, because they're trying to be like iPhone, but with a much more affordable price and shit like that. Of course, still different, but they get the job done basically. Mm, okay. Do you also are you perhaps a fellow Xiaomi user, Onsen? Are you a fellow Xiaomi enjoyer? But I don't think Xiaomi is like at the top of the market anymore, or in terms of like budget Android or like mid range. I don't think they're the option to go to when it comes to flagship though. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. By Reds brand phone. What's my brand? God, I'm so horny. All right, TMI. Coq fibre. Good one. Honestly, if I can make a one, I probably do that. Yeah. No, Xiaomi used to have a good spec and price performance. True, true. Maybe not anymore. Maybe not anymore. Like I remember Xiaomi names was everywhere when I was still in college, which was like almost 10 years ago. I guess not anymore now. budget, then avoid flagship brands. You can get similar spec with half of the quarter for price of price. For example, Xiaomi and such. SGC has heating problem. Apple too much exclusivity. True. I mean, there are no perfect fucking, you know. One second. Oh my fucking.
Eat
Bro.
bits.
Eat bits.
Oh my fucking heart. Dude, okay. This is fucking. It's not even Saturday, it's not even a horror stream. Kaylin! With the 1,000 gemstone. That fucking scares me every fucking time. Because no one literally do this but you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, much love. That's a lot of fucking bitsies. Retrap H in the chat for Kaylin. Thank you, much love. How you doing, Kay? Oh my god. The audio is still doubling. I see. I hear Brian and then I hear Weeb voice. Hold up. I'm replying message real quick. Okay. Alright. Working my ass off. I know. Good luck. You got this. I believe. And you know, actually I don't know if you do you have any sketch requests, because right now I'm actually doing some sketch requests queue. Let me check it. After this, if you did, I'll put you on a prioritize. Well, it's not like prioritize, since you know there's not much either. I have a random one, yeah? Okay. I got you then, I got you. A2 win? No, it's not that. We're prioritizing people that's in the chat. Then we'll go through. You know what I mean? Sketch Femboy Anatomy. Fuck me. Alright, I kept my word. I will. Oh my god. God damn it. Alright. Okay. Challenge accepted. No, no, no. I kept my word. Challenge accepted. Oh my god. Once again, Retrap dug his own grave. Oh my god. Good one. Oh, it's a jammer. Okay, I'm not quite sure how do I draw your hair, but I'll figure it out. You get a hair that is not very anime, so it's gonna be quite a challenge for me. But I'm down. Yeah, like this one's this side's short, right? Like faded. Oh shit, wrong layer. Did I hear sketch requests on Rat stream? Crazy, right? Okay. Don't say it as if like I never do it, alright? Sure, I do it like once a month. Oh.
Obama, do you know that Rad Scream the best scream? I am
You know
Obama
that
and
Red
this is
Scream,
my
the best
favorite
stream. I am
stream.
Obama, and this is my favorite stream.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Obama, for 200 bits and the very kind word about my stream. God damn. Ex-president of the United States is a viewer of Rat Trap. Real. Thank you, Obama. Thank you for the 200 bitsies. Thank you, Obama. Ooh.
Linus, it would the best if the TTS wasn't this scuffed.
It would the best if the TTS wasn't this scuffed.
Oh, you missed your chance saying, you know what is not scuffed? Our next sponsor, NordVPN. Come on. The Linus Tech Tips segue. Yeah, I need to fix that. Hold up. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. But you know, what's not scuffed? Our segue to the next sponsor. Pee pee poo poo. Let me see. For the bitses should be fast. I get it and I don't know what to do with it. And I don't know what to do with it. I got you up in a reality. Alright, should be good. Using me. chills when you leave my body. Leave my body.
You know what I can segue?
Your mom.
Oh my. Okay. Oh my god. Wait. What? What was that? Oh, I think I misclicked. Wait, did I misclick? I hear it twice for some reason. Ah, it's okay. Thank you for additional 400 bitsies. God damn it. Oh my god. Oh wait, I hear.
Co.
Okay, this is getting dumb. God damn it. Thank you. For total of 1600 bitsies. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are having fun with the TTS. Oh my god. Cock. I got you. Leave my body. When you're not inside me. I get chills when you leave my body. When you leave my body. When you're not inside me. When you're not inside me. Ooh, what the fuck? Bum 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 bum. Nani? Oh. Right, do I look breedable? No comment. I no comment. Thank you. Oh my god. Kanye?
I got this new anime plot that's
Ooh.
going. There's this high school girl, except she's got huge boobs. I mean, some
Okay.
serious honkers, a real set of bad honkers, begging it to some dumb but wrong girls, massive doing that bad colors, big old time, the call girls.
He fucking rap, I forgot. Oh my god. It sounds so scuffed. Okay, that's a good one. Holy shit. I did not expect that. I thought he just gonna talk. I got this new anime plot. Oh. God damn it. Thanks, Kanye. Very cool. Indeed. Oh my god. What the fuck? Shit. I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Tell, is anybody there? Save me, I'm running out of air. Ooh, calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes a really good song. Give me one last kiss. Oh, 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 oh. 触れたくないこと。Oh, oh, 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 oh. I love you more than you'll never know. I love you and you'll never know. Oh, can you give me one last kiss? I don't know what to be. Wrong layer again. I got the more than you'll ever know. I love you more than you'll ever know. How do I forget how to draw a mustache? Dung, 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 dung. You're making me so hot. I'm just applying what's already there. Alright. Nothing's changed. Boom, 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 boom. I forgot how to draw goatee. Oh. Someone in a culture. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know how to draw a beard anymore. It's been a while, I forgot. So hopefully this is. Well, I should actually. Okay, I get an idea. Let's see. My beard's all fucked up anyway. Eh, don't worry, same. This pandemic beard. I need to go to a barber soon. I could do a complete. I'm thinking about doing a complete clean shave, like baby face, back to baby face again. Everything's gone. Probably shave my head as well. Maybe not bald, but like very fucking thin, very fucking short. So right now my fucking my fucking beard is quite a fucking mess, I'm not gonna lie. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's actually kind of good practice as well because I'm actually really bad, or I just really rarely draw. Only recently, I rarely draw like more than one person in one drawing. But it's actually good practice. You gotta buy that roll with small needles that fix your beard. Heard it works. Oh, I think I know what you mean. Draw one girl on top of another, please. Girl stacking, girl docking. Whoa! Okay, chill, chill. Oh my god. Girl docking. Holy shit. Oops. Hold up. What's my sketch earlier? Oops. There we go. It's actually kind of fucking cute. gotta change. I'm a new day right away. I'm a wild out away. All of you back home. My friend can't even cover. What's up, Mary? How you doing? Ah, it's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these to live and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these and time again. I'm a moving frozen. I have a It's times like these to live again. It's times like these to give and give again. To be able to draw like a lips. Ah, ah, ah. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give and give. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, it's time and time again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these and time again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, give and give. Oh man, I miss Foo Fighters. Rest in peace.
Sad in Japanese is Sag.
That's true. I'm gonna miss Foo Fighters, man. Sag. Tyler Hawkins. Rip a hands. I wonder if they're gonna come back with a new drummer or they're gonna settle with it. Koklak. Coxin. What's up, Gar? How you doing? I don't think they will. Yeah, it's gotta be. It's really hard to replace Taylor. He's such a legend, dude. So fucking sad when I heard the news. But at the same time, they're also at the age where usually rock band retire as well. So there's a big chance they might retire.
Who is that man? Binoculars.
That man's very handsome. He's in the chat. People blush. Okay, I might not be able to draw the big titty part of the goth girlfriend here, but I think I get the cap, the essence. Make Booba wrap the arm. It's not gonna work though. It's gonna look weird. Let me try. I need a ride from you. From you. From you. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look weird, chat. I don't know, it's not gonna look right. I don't know. Separate them a little bit more, but I cannot. Hold up. I got room 20 in my ice cream cake. Because I make you know, as if like she's behind, she's kissing from behind. So it kind of makes sense that the booba is not that obvious, but hmm. Okay, let me try, yeah? Any card. J card. Any heart. Farewell, 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 yeah. I guess that works. It's kind of like a squish. I don't know, this is a very specific angle. Any card. Any card. Any heart. Farewell, 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 farewell. Mm. Oops. Mm. 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 Hold up, everything's gotta get shifted now. Cannot get it right. Yeah, I ain't shit, I ain't shit. Okay, let me try something. Okay, that works. Oh, I don't want to put too much detail on the sides. Me. Laugh is my fucking ego. Do 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 do. To look more goth, maybe draw a line in the middle of her hair so it looks like it's painted with two colors. Oh yeah, don't worry. We're getting there. Don't worry. For the shading style. Since doing color is gonna takes too much time, I'm gonna do a grayscale while still making her looks goth. Got this, no worries. And then, okay, wait, maybe darker. How do you do the... You know what I'm going for, right, chat? The fading color. The faded color thingy. That's very goth.
And here we found a Pepica. This rare breed is only found at twitch./radtruck.
The fuck? Holy shit. Good one, narrator. Thank you for 200 bits, Onsen. Oh, you cuck. Yeah, I think that's good. I think we nailed it. There you go. Request number 1. That's kind of wholesome as fuck. Holy shit. I love drawing this kind of thing. Fuck yeah. Kissing and holding hands. Let's go. Cute shit. Booba kind of nerf for a goth girl. Yeah, I know, but it just act like, you know, it's huge, omega huge. Hold up, where's your request earlier? Just it. Oh yeah, I did miss it. Fuck. Oh, never mind. No Oh! Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh my god, how can I forget? Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, this is very, very important. Oh my god, that's so fucking good. Perfecto. It's like a motif. God damn. Usually it will be like a roses or something like that. But I'm not gonna draw some roses in there. There you go. Ah, my god. So cute, so cute. There you go. Sketch request number 1 by Zay. Let me post it on the Discord. God, I wish I know the lyric for this song. Bum, 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 bum. All right. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god, I almost leaked something. Oh. Well, it's not a big deal. It's just like my own thingy thing, face thingy. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Your own cook? I like how you're so enthusiast. No. I took a bunch of reference pic in VR chat. And there's so many of it, I don't know if all of them are safe or not. So I gotta curate it. Momunil% con John Alitalia Milado, slow it down, take a break. Research exactly. She or anything between. I have some space to can breathe. Alim Kugo Chamkan Nani Chapulago, so I can escape. Oh, maybe this time go slow, yeah. Chamcha go shippo, I need my charger. Alright. Next one. Oh my god, I forgot. God. And you fuel me till I move. Oh my fucking money! Holy shit.
What's up guys, it's your cocksucker here. Just want to let you know that Mr. Radtrap has a small cock and it's a fact.
Before we get into this cock stream, make sure to let Rad know that your mom is in lttstore.com.
Oh my god. Go slow. Thank you for the $2, Pain. I love that. That's fucking amazing. Anima Chaja. Sen Gonjonjela. Mom and Young Percent Gonjonjela. Oh. Mom and Young Percent. Mom and Young Percent. Mom and Young Percent Gonjonjela. Can change to if you want. Was for the memes. I think I can do something with it. Let me think. This is just too good, I know, right? I can make it work. I can make it work. Hold up. Okay, I think I got some ideas. Let me see. I think I got some ideas. Let me think. You're my one only daughter. Ah, shit. Hold on to some fanboy acting. You know. Dude, why is my stomach... Ah! Is it because of the milk earlier? I did drink too much. Chat, I gotta go. I gotta, you know, gotta go to the toilet real quick. Give me like 5 minute. 5 minute ish, alright? Give me, yeah, 5 minute. I'll be right back. Give me a sec. 5 minute, I swear. Da, 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 da. Ah. Oh God. Okay. Jesus Christ. It's really hard being a lactose intolerant when your favorite drink is cafe latte. God damn it. Alright. Holy shit, bro. Boom. Boom. Come back, thank you. Alright. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, I still remember my idea. This is so dumb. Bam, 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 bam. Da, 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 da. Uh-huh. Mhm. Mhm. Alright, back to the drawing. Fuck, this is so dumb. Hold up, you guys will see. It's kind of funny in my head right now. Cause it's kind of dumb. No, not your sketch request, my idea on how to draw it. You'll see, you'll see. You'll figure it out. Oh my god. Do you remember me? Like you stole on one of mine. Can keep it. You're a little too close, too far away. It's much too early, too far away. Time to hold now. You walk away. Oh, it's such a good song. You're a little too close, too far away. It's too late. Too old now. Just a fade. Walk away. Just sail away with me. Anything, anywhere. Cause to cloud into inside my head. I can summon my own. Beck, what you drawing? Some anatomy. Oh shit, I might need to extend this. Hold up. Oh, that's quick. Okay. Oh my god. So dumb. Oh shit. I didn't know how to be a little bit off. Kinda awkward. Considering the context of the sketch. Ah yes, interesting. Hey, what's up, Akila? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Got home from work, did some gardening, and am now eating. Nice. What you got? Okay, it's kind of ironic, but I'm kind of off with the anatomy as well in this drawing. Shit. Kind of weird. How about you guys? All Gucci? We chillin'. I'm chillin'. I'm chillin'. Just doing some drawing and stuff. You know how it is. You know how it is. Hold up. About I hope I can do this though. Okay. I want to be just like you, just like you. Just a simple German dinner, bread, sausage, and sliced cheese. God damn. I wish that's my simple dinner. Dude, I do love some of that sausage and cheese. Ooh. There's some good stuff. Some meat and some sticky cheese. Dude, cheese are the best, I swear to God. There's nothing compared to cheese. My eyes are still glued. Nice. Booba. Whoa. What is this remix? Or a cover, I guess. Get lost on glancing in the dark. Follow me, I'll end up in my arms. You don't really look back. I don't need signs. Can you? Give me reasons we should be complete. You should be within, I can't complete. Reluctant me, I got with someone else. Oh wow, can't you see? I don't wanna slow dance in the dark. Hmm? Yeah? If you know, you know. Hold up, let me finish it. The skit's not done yet. See? Well, yeah, for some people it's gonna be obvious. But you haven't even seen the whole drawings. Don't worry. In the dark. Was away on business trip for too long. My cheese got moldy. Doesn't it mean it's gonna taste even better? Cause get it fermented, right? Or is that not how it works? It's probably not how it works, Sag. H like a fine. Not this cheese, I see. I mean, who knows? Right? You never know, man. The extra flavor. Ah, shit, you're right. The braid. God, fucking braids. Ugh. Test of might, I must overcome. Oh, it's a jammer. Vomit. Oh shit, Zelda. I hear that. Hey, listen. Hmm. 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 Damn, this song's a badass. Uh-huh. Oh, it's actually not done. I think I just put too much detail in this. There might take a little bit longer than it should be. There's actually still a missing part that I haven't done yet. Listen, it's it's you know, it's yeah. There's actually a combination of two references. This drawing right now. One for the pose and the other one for the outfit. What the tier to get those references? It's not for public. It's not for public. I haven't even seen all of them yet, actually. I need to skim through. Sorry, it's mods proof. Shut the fuck up, Sin. Oh, fuck off. Listen. I may or may not gonna show the reference after the sketch finish. Just to it's part of the joke. God damn it, why did I put so much detail in this one? What privilege I don't see them. I didn't say it's fucking one sin. God damn it. Why did I do this to myself? For the lul, red, for the content. For the lulz. Everything that I said. I just want some femboy anatomy and even half clothes. Okay, there's no way I can. No, there's no way I can draw that. Okay. I mean, I can. Oh my god. That's. Oh boy. I mean, I guess I could. True. Cut you guys, I swear to God. Yeah, I'm already pushing myself in this one. Boo-doo 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 boom boo-doo boop boo-doo boo-doo boop. Make sure you add the bush for that. Oh my god, you guys. Count on me. Bum, 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 bum. Never count on me. Never count on me. Never count on me. Me. Okay, I get the. Okay. Alright, I got an idea now. Alright. Oh my god. Alright, let's see if this is gonna work. Make us tofu proud. Stupukup. Gago. That's right, bitch. I've been learning some Tagalog while watching Millie. Tangina mo. Gago. Bastardo. That's all I learned from Millie stream. The only Tagalog that's very significant is the fucking swear words. Holy shit, so good. Melee is Sam memes as a VTuber, I know. Despite she's being a fucking from fucking Canada. It's so fucking weird. Ang ina mo, gago. So I could make the face a little bit better. I'll do it later. Wait, I forgot what's my pants. Oh wait, I don't wear pants. I forgot about that. Oh my god. Easier to draw the bulge than. No, that is the complete opposite, if anything. I'm sorry to disappoint. The angrier a Filipino gets, the more emphasis there is not on the tongue, but tangina mo. Just put a minor. Okay, we gotta chill. We gotta chill. All right, you guys are fucking horny as shit. Holy fuck, chat. You guys are horny for a very wrong reason right now.
Rad is big all peodar cock.
Okay, I can definitely do face better. Hold on, it's not done yet. I might be a little bit over ambitious here, but I want to give it a try. Hold up, hold up. Trust me. They're almost like I'm drawing a fucking Dakimakura merch right now. This is so dangerous. Oh my god, what am I doing? And no, it's not gonna be a thing. Stop swiping your card. Oops. Okay. If it's Dakumakura one day NSFO. Chat, stop. You guys are so fucking. Oh my god. This is so wrong. Holy shit.
You unlock for Tier 3 members Tomboy Rad Dekamakura.
Nope. Nope, that is not a thing. Nuh-uh. No. That is not a thing. I am so sorry to disappoint, but that is not a thing. But thank you for the 200, by the way. No, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
where is his song?
Shut up. Is Sudo the only tier 3? True. Not wrong. Oh god. Ooh, oh, this is very interesting. Never really do this before, but it kind of works. You guys see this shit? Ooh, look at that. Oh my god! Yo, that's so fucking sick, though. You guys see what I'm trying to do here? Oh, bro, what the fuck? I feel like I'm a magician right now. Oh. It actually worked. Holy shit. You see where I'm going? Oh my god. This is actually amazing.
You're trying to do the X-ray vision so we can see the bulge binoculars, cat boom.
Now, I'm gonna try to stop before we get there. That's the thing. Because that's the prompt. Anatomy. So I will show some anatomy, but, you know, with cautious, obviously. Oh my god. I'm gonna place it over here, I guess. Cat boom. Now this is the hardest part. Oh, I'm dumb. There you go. Actually, I could just pull up the sketch. Okay, we don't need that. Some of you guys in the chat probably don't really quite see why specific characters. Oh my god. So dumb though. So dumb. But I'll show the reference after this. Oh god. Oh my god, this is so scary. Uh Yo. Oops. Wrong layer. Okay, maybe a little bit too far. Oh shit. How do we make this so I can still show? Okay. It's too right in the middle. Okay. We not stop cocktail, we see cock. Unfortunately, that's not how it work here, man. No can do, sir. Monka jiga. Shit, I actually forgot the anatomy. Wait a fucking minute. No, no, no. I think that's fine. Mm. It's kind of hard because I actually have to do a very well anatomy to make this looks actually good. To make it looks convincing, you know. Okay, I might need extra reference. Hold up. Oh no. Ay 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 ay. Trying to sleep, might be back later. I don't know. Alright, dude. Have a good sleep, man. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Oh my god. Whoa. Holy shit. Holy fucking macaroni. Dude, some artists are just out of this world. Holy fuck. Oh my god. That's insane. I better just see some. No promises, no promises. Go get some sleep. See you around. Good night. I should have do a reverse engineering this or reverse method. This kind of makes it a little bit harder. No, my anatomy is so fucking bad, bro. When it comes to male. Fuck. I didn't study more male anatomy, I'm gonna be honest. Been drawing too much booba. Time for reference, but I don't. Oh my god, chat. Oh, I want to show this to you guys so bad, but I cannot. Dude, the painting is insanely good. It's like some professional artist. Holy shit. Jesus. I'm jealous. Alright, let me just simplify this. Not good enough. Obviously need more practice. Dude, this is the most borderline thing that I've ever drawn probably right now on stream. My god. This is very, very borderline. Eh, nani? Oh. Oh my. Yabe! Yabe! Holy shit, bro. Why does it have to be a femboy? I'm drawing. If I'm drawing Booba here, it's gonna be a little bit harder to put the X-ray actually. So was it commission? Whoa. Oh my god. Yeah, my anatomy is bad, unfortunately, with male. So it doesn't look that convincing. It should look much more than this. Pull up. The hair should not be invisible. Let me put the hair over here. Yeah, bet. Alright, done I guess. I wish I could do better. I'm gonna be honest, but yeah. Can you draw a Rin full body with X-ray thing asking for a friend? I HP commission our thing asking for a friend. Listen, chat. I'm gonna be honest. I've done it before. What's up with the hands? Hungry? Huh? Oh shit, I forgot to draw the hands. No, but yeah, I used to do those commission, but not anymore because it's so fucking hefty. But I don't know, man. Maybe in the future, who knows? I actually found this like new place, new website for artists where it's basically like a social media for like artists with commission feature and everything, very complete. It's like deviant art, but very more modern. And that website have a very special feature called double profile. What that means is that you can set up one account with two sites, SFW and NSFW. And that is very fucking powerful. I'm telling you. I haven't checked it out quite fully, but among artists, there's been like a lot of people have been like, yo, you should give this a try. It's really cool. If I get there, if I've checked it out first, I'll let you guys know. What's the website? I forgot the name. Fuck. I literally just found it this morning. It's like but I haven't visited it. It's just like some artist's thread on Twitter. Like, yo, Twitter is kind of like shit right now. We should try this, guys. So it's like a bunch of recommendation of other alternative. And one of them that was really popular was that. No, not Skep. Skep is specifically for hiring commission. This one is basically imagine Twitter, but specifically for artists with artists features. So there is a menu for if you visit their profile, you can see like, oh, this guy draw this. The art style is this. He does, let's say, safe for work and not safe for work stuff. You know, so it's very artist-oriented Twitter. Imagine that. That's basically the website. All right, this is fun. I like to go through this more. Ends, no ends. No kokorbuljuology. No, I cannot, man. It's too sussy. Too sussy for Twitch. So it's a little bit, you know, going through the borderline. I'm not really in the mood to draw fingers right now. Okay, whatever. That's a hand. Alright. Done. Skeb, interesting. I want to check this website. Skeb also has the same stuff. Yeah, but Skeb is not really a social media. It's just a place. It's like a marketplace. Like you go to that place, and it's just like lists of people who offer commission. But in this other side, it's basically Twitter. So people, artists, still can share their shit. Like, oh, I draw this today, or they can even like post things that is not a drawing. So it's like a social media rather than a marketplace.